All right, it is 11:02. Let's get started on this. So we are here today to talk about Teams and all the fun features that Teams has to offer. We are never going to be able to understand everything about Teams because Microsoft is putting more and more into Teams every day. So Teams is growing quite a bit. But before we start, I'd like to talk about the company, Seamless Solutions. We are a business optimizer. We specialize in all kinds of office equipment, um, including managed network services, which includes handling your IT needs. Some of our specialties are converting people over into Microsoft 365. So if you need to make that conversion, please reach out and contact me. Uh, Telephone number is 713-863-8900, or you can email sales@seamlesssolutions.com or email me directly at jbalter@seamlesssolutions.com. By the way, this is a sticky note. This is actually part of Windows 10. It's really kind of a cool little feature. If you haven't messed around with it a little bit, it's pretty neat. You can change the colors and mess around, but we're not here for this. So I just throw that up there. I am going to send you all a link in the chat, and that's to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Everybody always asks me, hey, John, I really want to be able to watch this later. And this is the way. I post them up here on our YouTube channel. You can click on that link and it'll subscribe you to our YouTube channel, or you can just go to our YouTube channel and it'll be there. The other thing I want to talk to you about is some housekeeping. So everybody is muted except for myself. And if you need to raise a question or you put something in the chat you think it's really important for me to look at, you can raise your hand. If you click the little icon with the hand and the smiley face, and you can raise your hand, and it'll stay up until I lower it or until you lower it. And then if you just want to say, hey, I really like that, you can do a little thumbs up, you can do a heart, you can clap, you can laugh out loud. So just some little icons. So if I click my laugh out loud, you'll see my little face now has a little, smiley face all over it. Cute. So pretty easy to go about like that. So we're going to jump into Teams here. There is a lot to know about Teams. It is becoming the major platform that that Microsoft is using to use for pretty much everything. It's kind of bringing together SharePoint and OneDrive, and it's bringing together communications, phone calls, text messages, everything into one app. It's becoming an aggregator. So I don't know if you guys are watching my beautiful picture here, but I can actually apply a background. So if I wanted to be at the beach, I can apply a beach background and now I'm at the beach. So just like Zoom, you can do that. You can upload your own images or pick an image if you want to. You can add new ones. There's some pretty cool ones that are just by default. So if you want to do that. Oh, I'm sorry, my Teams is on top of it. I'm sorry. Let me show you how you can adjust that. You can actually adjust the way you're sharing to share differently now. So there I am. Picture in picture. And I can even adjust it again if I wanted to. So if I stop sharing again, share my content. And this time I kind of like this as presentation mode if you guys want to see my smiling face. And now, yeah, me, and you have the picture ta-da, next to me. But I'm going to actually turn off my smiling face because I particularly don't need to see me in all the videos. And actually, I don't need to stop sharing anymore. That's a new feature. I can actually just flip it. I forgot I could do that now. They they have made it so that you can just add yourself in there. All right. So now I'm in the screen. This is Teams that we're actually looking at. Say they're still seeing my chat box. Shouldn't be. So I can thank this person, by the way. Should be able to see this chat box and then see me sitting on top of it. You see me sitting on top of it, right? Hope so. Yep. Cool. Now I'm on top. All right. Hopefully I don't get in the way. If I do, I'll turn me off. Just tell me. But you can now change your sharing as you're going along. So I could be off to the side, but it kind of shrinks the screen. And if I do that, it shrinks it. With this one, you get the full screen still. So in Teams, and I'm a full size screen Teams here. This is actually in Teams. So we have off to our left, just to start out with some pieces here. We have our activity, our chat, our team, calendar, calls, and files. And then there's these three little dots, and that's in case I want to add additional apps. And there are a ton of apps. So, you know, you can add a wiki, you could add streams, which is basically like YouTube, but through Microsoft. There's approvals, which is part of their workflow, tasks, all kinds of things. Insights is actually a piece that that's that puts down all the information of like how many phone calls you've made in a week and all that kind of stuff. But there's all kinds of additional apps in here. You can go to more apps in here, and you can see there's I think they're up to like 3,000. So if I go to image, you know, there's YouTube, productivity, there's a whole bunch. Um, Education has some, project management has a ton. Um, so if you're looking for something in particular, there's a lot of stuff that integrates directly into Teams, which is nice. So you can add those functions in there. One of the main features of Teams is, of course, communication. So it's real easy. Mayul is one of my employees, so if I wanted to text him, I told him earlier that he's going to be part of this. First, I told him to go put a webcam up there. He said, you know, give him a thumbs up. He did that. Real easy. So you want to type a message? It'll have a little checkbox. Once Mayul actually looks at that message, it'll show the little eyeball will move down to here that he saw it. So I know he actually saw it. And then he can reply back to that message. So he got it. And once again, I can say, ooh, very important, nice. Teams has a lot of the functionality that we think of with like Facebook Messenger and all those kind of WhatsApp app. So you've got gifts in here. You can send people, you know, happy birthday, right? And they have all kinds of little gifts that you can send to people. Additional to that, you have emojis, right? So smiley faces, all the kind of, they have some pretty weird ones. I don't know why they have a little dude with a hairstyle, but they got him. You can attach files. You can upload a file from your computer, attach a file from your OneDrive, send it over to them. If it's an important message, like, where are you? And you don't want to have to send it like 20 times, there's this new feature here called Set Your Delivery Options. And this lets you send it as a standard message, important, or urgent. So this message will re-notify them every 2 minutes for 20 minutes until they reply. So if I do urgent here, you can see it's going to send Mayul that message every 2 minutes until he sends me back a reply, which he's going to do now anyhow. So you can see down here, I have a whole bunch of other buttons. This is Stream. This is one of the Microsoft apps. I've added a couple other things. I could schedule a meeting with Mayul if I wanted to. This ties into my Outlook, right? So if I have Outlook, it'll tie straight into there. So if I needed to schedule a meeting, I can just come right in here. It's going to schedule a meeting. It's going to say he's busy right now because he's actually in this conference call. But if I kick this out till tomorrow, he may be busy tomorrow at that time. Oh, 6 a.m. You busy then? Oh, he's busy right now. That's the reason why. I'm sorry. And you can put a title, and you can send it. You can change options. Kind of all kinds of neat little things in there. I added the YouTube app because I wanted to be able to send people YouTube videos, right? So if I wanted to send Mayul my seamless solutions, it'll go out and search, and then I can send him. Here was our OneDrive education class that we did. So now I send it to him. I invited him to that. He can go watch that at any time he wants. Oh, I was in the way of that little button right there. It's a little YouTube video. So you can add a whole bunch of different things. Approvals is already added by default for me. I could add praise, right? I praise Mayul. He's done a great job, right? Thank you. Let me preview it, then I can send it, and then he'll get a little message. 3 little dots means that there's always new suggestions that I can add in here. There's all kinds of things. If you get questions from people that you feel like they should go Wikipedia search it, you could add that in there. And then you could search like, what is Teams, right? Or Teams. And then you could send people to Wikipedia for what Teams is. Pretty cool, huh? So Teams is pretty functional. Let's say I was in a conversation with Mayul and I needed to talk to somebody else also in here. I could just click add. I could type in another person. It's one of my technicians. I could add him into this conversation. Now you'll see I have 2 conversations, one with Matt, one with Mayul. If I'm done with this conversation or I want to discard it, I can actually delete it. So pretty cool and easy to do. Mayul wanted me to remind you all, and you can see it popped up here, that once I mark it, it sends them an email also saying, hey, you got an urgent message, go look at it. So pretty cool. What other functions can I do with Teams? So chat. So that's really kind of nice. That's easy. But if I wanted to share files with Mayul, I could actually use this to share files. So I can share a file right here with Mayul. I can click on it and I can say upload from my computer. I'm just going to go to my desktop here. I think I've got a file on it. And let's say I want to share our proposal. And it'll share that file with Mayul just specifically in Teams so that he can now use that file. You see, I have a couple other things. I have organize. It's just a place to put some stuff. Activity. I don't have much activity with Mail yet, but as that grows, there'll be more. And then I can add more tabs. So I can add anything I want in here. That's a standard Microsoft piece. I could add Word. I could have a whiteboard. So if you need to chat with somebody and actually have a whiteboard to chat with them, you can add a whiteboard. You can see it takes a few seconds to load the software, but it's not extremely long. And then I can draw on it. Give me that freehand ability to communicate with Mayul lifetime. He can also draw on it too if he clicks on that whiteboard. You can type text. I can add pictures. There's all kinds of stuff you can do with whiteboard. But just some of the fun features, some of the things you can do with it. You can undo them. Oh, there's Mayul drawing a smiley face for us. And I can zoom in and zoom out. I'm just using my mouse to wheel to zoom in and zoom out. If you have a Mac, some of the features are a little more clunky on a Mac than they are on a Windows device, but you can do everything on a Mac. This is kind of a cool little pen. When you draw with it, it changes colors as you draw. Microsoft is always trying to come up with new and neat little things, but they're adding more and more every day to Teams. So the more you use it, the more you'll see that there's some functionality or feature in here that you thought was pretty neat. It is called Teams, so we definitely need to go over what is the Teams button over here for. So we chat. Activity is just everything that's gone on. It'll show all the activity. If Mayul thumbs up me, it'll show a little red on a message that there was a activity. Teams are basically where you can go and create groups. So if you have a group of like in your accounting department, or if you have a group in your management department, or a small group needs to form in your company for a short amount of time, you can create groups. All companies start out with a default group. That's our main one. This is for Seamless Solutions. And of course, I actually have somebody posting something live on there, so that's not what I was expecting to see. But like I posted up a YouTube training video on there. So it allows you to post things for the whole company to see. You can also have files for the whole company. So I put up that template and I can sync those files. If I have the OneDrive app installed on my computer, I can sync those files to my computer. So if I click sync, it's going to sync those files. It's going to ask me some questions. Now you're syncing it. So it's this little one right here. Looks like a little building. And you can see I actually have that one file in there that I have over here. As soon as I close out that window, there we go. So it actually looks like it's on my computer. It actually is not. It's got a little cloud icon. When I double click it, it'll download it and I can use it. Mayul wants to add the calendar. So if you don't have the calendar here, you come down here and you just type in calendar. Oh no, that was Penny, didn't have the calendar. Just depending on your account, you should have that calendar on there, depending on how your Teams is. But if you're logged in and you don't have a Microsoft 365 account, you won't have calendar on there. That's only for people that actually have 365 accounts. So if I was chatting with Mayul and things got really heated and I needed to video chat with him, I can click the video chat. I'm going to do that one more time. Sorry, Mayul, I'm going to drive you nuts there. I probably went a little too fast. It's right here. If I just want to call him, it'll use my speaker and phones and call him. But let's get a video going with him. We'll actually be able to see Mayul. That's my conference room right there. That's the computer I'm on. And there he is. And he's in our high-rise location, working hard today. Bye, Mayul. Everybody wave bye. Bye. But I don't have audio turned on for everybody to listen to him, but you could actually audio and video chat live straight through this. No additional software needed, no additional cost. It's standard right out of the package with all the Teams packages. Okay, back to Teams, right? So this is my whole company team. Well, I don't want to use my whole company. What if I just want to create a team and I want to start from scratch? You can use their templates if you want. There's some pretty cool little, like here's a onboard employees, what to expect, organize your help desk, accident report. They have all kinds of little teams that you can create. There's even a patient care one that's new that just popped up. Hospital care, all kinds of retailers for managers. So if I was just going to start from scratch, I have a choice between a private and a public group. So private groups, nobody can see them, and public groups, anybody in my organization can see them. So I'm gonna create a private group so that nobody else sees this, and I'm gonna call it the demo example. Let people know what this team is all about. Well, this is a demo. And then I create the team. Nice work. And then I can add Mayul to it. We used Matt earlier. We can add Matt to it. Bam. I can close. And now I have a new team. It's really that quick and easy to add a team. I don't need to call my IT department. I'm just a user. I'm not even like an admin. I'm just a user. So anybody can create a team. Once again, I have that file sharing at the top. People say, well, how hard is that file sharing to use? I'm like, well, it's as simple and easy as anything can be in the world because we all like drag and drop. So you can actually just grab a file, drag it over there, let it go, and it'll upload. Oh, it's still getting things back together, so it hasn't finished building yet, but that's as easy as it is. A wiki is just a place to store information. So if you've never heard of the term wiki, it's a real computer geeky kind of term. That's where Wikipedia comes from. But you can create topics. And then you can create things underneath those topics. And then this little thing will let you add new pages. So just a notepad that you can keep between two people. One of the really nice things that I like to use in here, and they just renamed it to, it's now called Tasks. It used to be called Planner. I'm going to add it in here. And Tasks is great. It lets you create like little buckets of things that need to be done, maybe, and then you can assign them to other people. And then you can set a due date on when it's due, and you can assign it to people. You can add the task. And then additionally, in the task itself, you can add labels to it. You can make it blue. You can relabel what red means. So maybe I don't want red to be red. I want it to be important. Right? Seeing all the functionality you can think of in here. You can say whether or not I got started or not, what the priority is, what the start time is. I want them to start right now. I can add attachments. I can add checklist. Check 1, check 2. Know what you're thinking. How does Jon come up with all these great ideas? Man, it's just lots of demos. I can add attachments, right? And add them from my Teams file. I can link a URL. I can upload them from my computer. And it just created a SharePoint site for it. I can show it on the card. What that means is when I say show it on the card, oh, Mayol already marked it complete. He beat me to it. When I say show it on the card, it now has a link right there for me. And it tells me what time you completed it on, the day you completed it on. You can create a whole bunch of buckets or buckets, right? You can keep going, right? As many across as you want. You can hide completed, you can show completed. So pretty cool way to keep like things that are important that you need to get taken care of. Kind of create checklists and to-dos for people. It works really well. And it's only in this team that people can see it. So, and if I add somebody to the team, so let's go add somebody to the team, right? So here's the team. Maximize that screen. I can look at the information, right? I can see all the people that are in there, and there's a little add button right here, and I can just add. I can add a whole group too. So if there's a whole group that's already out there, like my IT tech setup, I got a whole bunch of teams, so I can just add whole teams at one time. I don't have to do it one by one. But let's say I wanted to add Miguel. I can add Miguel in here, and then he'll get the same information. He'll get an invite, and he can be added to this team. Let's see if the files are done yet. Oh, files are done. So let's do that drag and drop again this time. There it goes. Real easy to upload a file, right? That was super easy. 90-minute training class, right? Once again, if I want to sync these files to my computer, because right now all I have is the company files, I can click sync. And now I got my demo example. Bam. You're like, Jon, that's the same file. You're just cheating. Well, okay, fine. Here's another file. And how fast does it sync? Bam, just like 2 seconds. Now, if you have 4 million files in here, yeah, it's going to take some time to sync. But, a couple small files is going to happen real fast. So the smaller your teams, the more concise your information, the better off you are. You can download the files, upload files, add new files, right? So tasks now is up at the top. I got my wiki, and I got, posts. Posts are just where I can start a conversation, right? So I can do that. And then Mayul can go on there and he'll reply back to it and say hi. And it'll just thread down through just like a normal thread through a post. In calendar, this is actually showing my Outlook calendar. I don't have any Outlook calendar stuff right now created because this is just a demo account that I use. So we come in, go to the day and say demo at 12, right? We'll just say demo. It's fine. It'll update this and it'll add that. Oh, I put it on the wrong date. Oh. Did I put that? I do have to come off the page and back into it. Well, there it is. There's my demo. It does take a second to refresh. They are two different softwares, but they do interact. So there it is. There's my demo at 2 o'clock. It will refresh on the page by itself, but coming off and coming back in, I'll usually fix it faster. I can add calendar invites here if I want to do them from here, just like I would from Outlook. So that's the calendar piece. You know, you can change your view. So if I don't want the work week, if I want just today, if I want the whole week showing the weekends. It is a smaller view, so it doesn't do a full month, but it'll do week by week. You can skip through week by week. You can add a new meeting. So what we're on today is a webinar. Live event is actually going away, I think. They're really pushing us to use webinar, which is what I'm using today to talk to all of you. A webinar is basically a one-directional information. So that I can talk to you, you're not interacting directly with it. A scheduled meeting is just like a normal Teams meeting or a Zoom meeting. I know everybody likes to use the word Zoom as if it was the first one out on the market. And then a live event is pretty much the same as a webinar. The only difference is that's the original term for it, but they're moving to the webinar event. By the way, I think you can have up to 500 users now on a webinar with a standard license. So it's really nice. Calls are actually phone calls. If you have a calling plan, you can call outside of your Teams network. If you don't have a calling plan, it has to be people that have Teams that you can talk to. But if you actually have a calling plan with Microsoft, you can actually make regular phone calls through this. And you'll have a touch tone phone right there, and you can actually just dial people up. You can see I actually called Mayul a few times. So that was when I did those web calls. Files is just my most recent files that I've been into. These are my Microsoft Teams files that are in which different locations they are in, anything I've downloaded from Teams, and then I also have cloud storage, which is my OneDrive. This is where I have all my OneDrive files. All right, we're about 35 minutes in. Are there any questions at this point, or you guys want to see some more stuff? If you have a question, go ahead and just type it into that chat for me. Man, I must have explained everything so well, nobody had a question. I'm not familiar with that software, Amy. So I can't tell you whether or not it is or not. I can definitely check and get back with you. Some of my personal favorites, one thing I love is they actually put, even though they're competitors, they put Zoom in here. So if you actually are using Zoom, you can interlink your Zoom into your Teams. Another one that a lot of people use, and I know I'm not going to just find it, I'm just going to type it in, is Dropbox. Oh, I put it in the wrong place. Oh, they took it out recently. How about that? Oh, we have Box still, but Dropbox is now no longer supported. I guess they didn't meet the new requirements. There were some security requirements that Microsoft required, and so they've moved some stuff around. But if you have Box, you can integrate your Box into here, which is like Dropbox. One thing you're not going to find in here is you're not going to find any Google stuff. They are direct competitors, and they are not going to share proprietary information across the board. So, don't look for Google Drive or anything like that. They're not going to show up. Um, Bob McDowell asks, so how many employees can watch this on Seamless Solutions YouTube channel? As many as you want, Bob. It's unlimited. That YouTube channel is a million, trillion, I don't know, 1.6 billion. We don't have many views on our YouTube channel. Here's what our YouTube channel looks like if you haven't already clicked on it and gone to it. Oh, I went to the wrong. Here's our YouTube channel. It's an old picture. We definitely need to get a new picture. Our staff is actually bigger than that now. But this is my most recent training class on OneDrive. This one was one of my favorite ones. We did that 5 months ago, which was Outlook tips and tricks. I'm trying to get better at doing one training class and uploading it here every week or once a month. Sorry, not every week, once a month. So if you subscribe, there'll be a new one. So I was 3 weeks ago. I did the OneDrive and SharePoint training, and then Outlook tips and tricks. Still my favorite, one of my favorites. But there's all kinds of videos in here. You know, there's some videos of when the pandemic hit and all that kind of stuff, and we put out some videos. There's some security stuff if you want to watch about phishing and things like that. Some of our more elaborate self videos. How to do a double-sided copy. This is something we're going to start working on more, is adding more of how to do some copy features on Ricos and HPs and Lexmarks. Yeah, copying money on Savin, why it doesn't work. So somebody asked, they couldn't create a team. If you can't create a team, you may want to check with your admin. They may have blocked that, but most companies don't turn this off. But the way to do it again is click on Teams, and at the bottom there's Join and Create a Team. And when you click on that, there's Create a Team. Does that help out, Penny? So, oh, awesome. I got a yes. Oh, come on. How about a heart? Yeah, just check with your admin and see if they've turned it off. And they may want to create their own team. Some people don't want random teams appearing, but a lot of companies, by default, Microsoft does leave it on, so it is something they had to go turn off. And it can be changed, or you can create new teams. When you do create a team, it creates a group, and it will show up in Outlook ultimately. Oh no, they took that feature away. It's not a group anymore. Groups are different. Sorry. I forgot groups are now different. One of the neat things that they added recently to Outlook that I like a lot is share to teams. So if I got this email from HP and it was important for me to share it with somebody, instead of me emailing it to them, I can actually click share on Teams, and then I can send it to a whole group, or I could just send it to one person like mail, and it'll send him just an individual message of what that file was. And then he can click on it and read it. This is just a setup guide for how to set up HP Secure Print. But you can also send it to everybody, right? So if I have a team of people, right, created a demo team, I can share it to that whole group, and there it is in the group. So now it'll be in the chat log for the group. Easy, easy, easy stuff. Nice part about Teams is it is extremely user friendly. It doesn't have a whole lot of complicated pieces to it. By the way, if you want to see all the posts or you're tired of your team alerting you on stuff, you can turn off those alerts. So channel notification, you can turn them off. You can pin the team. So now it's pinned at the very top. You can manage the channel if you're an admin on the channel and say, can everybody send a message? No, only owners can message. Anyone can post, show alerts, whatever, recommended for large teams, and anybody can post. If you don't like all the little like emojis and stuff like that, you can turn all that stuff off. You can even do analytics on it and see how many people are actually using the team. We just created this team, so of course there's not going to be a whole lot of use in it yet, but as things grow, they get bigger and bigger. So I can create an email address for the team if I want people to email it, or I can remove the email address. Somebody asked if you can use Teams outside your organization. Absolutely, if your admin turns it on. It is required that you turn on a setting that allows your teams to go outside your organization. If you have Teams and it's turned on, you can actually connect with me through Teams. We have it turned on. These are some of the additional pieces that you can add into your teams. You can see, once again, a ton of other applications link into Teams. I really like the ability to share files and stuff like that in it. It does use a SharePoint site. One thing I haven't shown you is, hey, John, you're at your office. You know, what happens when like you're on the go? Well, Teams has a mobile app, number one. But additionally, if I just go to office.com and I'm already signed in as the user, I can go to my app launcher. That's this little waffle thing at the top. And I can click on Teams and it's going to launch a web version of Teams for me. So if I don't want to install Teams on somebody's computer, I can log into Teams other places. And it has a feature to push those notifications out to your desktop if you want to. I already have the local app installed, so I don't want to do that again. Somebody asked another question here. Let's go see what that question is. Oh, I guess we already got that one. So yeah, absolutely, you can use it for people outside your organization. We're Microsoft partners, Microsoft facilitators. So Microsoft actually has a link with us, and we actually have a direct link to Microsoft through Teams. So that's nice. So Teams can be used outside your organization very easily. So you got file sharing, you got the ability to do wikis, you can do tasks. You know, one of the things I didn't show you was what if I wanted to open a Word document in here? I don't have any Word documents in my file folder. Hold on one second. Where do I want to save this? Oh, I'm with Mayul. That's the reason why. I need to put it in his files. So if I have a file that me and Mayul are sharing here, by the way, it's very upset with me because it's an empty file. You can't put empty files out there. There's security risks. There we go. 3, 2, 1. Okay. So now that I'm sharing this file with Mayul, he can actually edit the file at the same time I'm editing the file. And the file's automatically saving. You see that there's no save feature. It's just going to auto save that file as it goes along. I can see he opened the document. I can actually open a little chat log here with him. And we can start communicating back and forth. We can even have a conversation going at the same time. So this is my text. You can see that where Mayul's editing, it's going to show up in purple. Where I edit, oh, I'm purple. But he can edit the document live with me at the same time. Kind of a cool feature. I've seen a lot of people use it or try it. You can even launch it in the mobile, in the desktop app if you want. But it makes it really functional to be able to have a little conversation, add little threads, change documents live between two people. And then if I close it, I don't have to save it. It's already saved. The file's already updated 2 minutes ago. Open it up over here. Oh, it hasn't updated that yet. Did it update it here? Yeah, it just hasn't. My OneDrive hasn't sunk it down yet. Oh, there it goes. Sometimes these syncing files are not always accurate. There it goes. It's syncing now. That's why I usually like to open them up online. It does take a few seconds for them to sync. I'm kind of rushing it. Come on. Oh, because I'm in the wrong document, John. This is just the test one that I created earlier. It's nothing. This is the downloaded document. You can open it in the browser to edit it here too. So if you don't even have Word locally installed, you can edit it right here on your browser. Okay. So total collaboration really in Teams. one of the other things I didn't show you is that if you do get an email, hey, Mail, will you, I'm going to email you here real quick. Just respond back to this. By the way, it shows me his status right now when I'm emailing him. We're both in red because we're in a conference. If you were to see mine, mine would actually be a little different. Mine actually has the do not disturb. So you can change your busy to do not disturb, which basically means that when somebody sends you a message or whatever, it's not going to show up on your screen. By the standard, when you're meeting, it goes to busy. When you're not in a meeting, it's available. It uses your calendar to figure that out. If you want to, if you go away for too long, it'll actually show that you're away, but you can mark it also. All right. So Mayul, sorry about that. Mayul sent me a message. If I want to respond to this message in email, of course I can respond back. But if I want to just hit him back in an IM, I can just click on his name and it's going to open it up in an IM and I can just, hey, that email you sent. You know, instead of the back and forth, back and forth, back and forth you always have through email sometimes, this helps alleviate that. You can even jump right into a conference call. Right? Same type of thing. He's not going to pick up right now. It's okay. So those are a lot of the features of Teams. I'm not hitting 100%, but I'm definitely hitting some of the main points. I got 5 more minutes left of this meeting. If there's something that's, I can start a video call if I click on it. He must, Mabel's busy forever, obviously. See, he's got the next 8 hours he must have blocked out. And what that's pulling from is it's pulling from his calendar. So if somebody had gone in for the day, and made his like a day event, if you make it busy instead of free, then you're going to be blocked out for that whole day. See how now it turns blue, so it just blocks it out for the whole day. Any other questions, guys? No other questions? Doesn't have to be around Teams, can be around anything. Last couple minutes, anything? If I'm doing a new meeting and I want to make it into a Teams meeting, there's a button right here and it makes it into a Teams meeting. Depending on your licensing changes how this will look down here. If you have just the standard Teams, it's going to look like this, which doesn't have a telephone number on it. If you have conference calling, you can add it'll have a phone number in here and you can make, people can call in like you guys were able to call in today. Some people called in today. And just like anything else, you can invite multiple people. You can have options, right? You can edit your meeting options right here. Takes a second. You know, allow callers to bypass the lobby, yes or no. You know, everyone can bypass the lobby. Announce when they leave. I hate that. Turn that thing off. Jim is leaving the meeting. Steve is leaving the meeting. Who can present? Anyone? Only specific people, only me. That's what I'm doing today. Allow microphones, cameras. I've turned all that off for you guys. We are recording today, so that's turned on. Allow chat. You can allow reactions or no reactions. So you can just change some settings. Very easy. Oh, so somebody asked, what's the benefit of using Teams versus email? It just keeps the email a little bit cleaner. It's faster. You know, I would say, I mean, Mayul, do you agree? Like, you know, chatting like this back and forth is faster, you know, especially if you can do a conference call. Is it safer? Um, it's neither more or less safe. Teams actually does create a history that can be gone back and looked at. So if you're trying to do it like where it doesn't create a history, you need to go change a whole bunch of settings. But it is faster. It's quicker. It's not necessarily um, any safer. It just makes it a more efficient way. I mean, email's relatively safe, especially if you're using two-factor authentication. If you don't know what that is, then contact our IT staff here, and we're happy to help you out with that. How long does it keep the history? Forever. Uh, you know, but you can turn it off and on, whether or not it keeps the history or not. Like this history right here is only here if I come in and look at it, but there is actually a backend admin history. Um, and if you don't delete the items, then that history stays in the backend forever, or until you delete the user. And then there's 90 days and then it goes away. Any other questions, guys? We are at 12 o'clock, so Mayol, you're typing something. I see it going crazy, so. Oh no. A couple people are typing. Ah, Screen Connect. Yeah. I didn't even talk about that. So if I want to, I can share my screen, right, when I'm in chat. Oh, I'm opening it up in the, let's come back over here. When I'm in chat, you can share your screen, or you can share your screen here. And then you can even give control of your screen to somebody else. It definitely is a way better form of communication than anything I've seen in the past. Um, it's one application instead of 6 or 7 applications. It brings together so many pieces of communication, right? I can video chat, I can share files, I can work with people, I can communicate inside and outside my organization. All right. Once again, if there are any questions, please feel free to email me at jbalter@seamlesssolutions.com. If you need to get in touch with us, 713-863-8900. We do convert a lot of people over to Microsoft 365. Our website is www.seamlesssolutions.com, or our new site that I was just showing you. It's not 100% ready for public release yet, but we're getting there. Is ssicloudworks.com, Seamless Solutions Inc. Cloudworks.com. And our YouTube channel, of course, you can search for us on YouTube, or I post that link earlier in the chat. If you need me to post it again, I'm happy to do so. I'm going to throw it back up in there. There it is again. This is where this video will be posted. There are other videos up there. We have 2 training videos currently on the site for Microsoft products, the OneDrive and the Outlook tips and tricks. Once again, I think the Outlook tips and tricks was the better of the two, but both are pretty decent.